Welcome back to the Richland County Sheriff's Department 1014 show, where you can gather the most information. My name is Deputy Jay Weaver with the Public Information Office. Today's topic is very sensitive, and it can also be very important to the women of Richland County. We have a very special guest today. Her name is Sergeant Kelly Griffeth from the RCSD Training Division. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you've been here for how long?
I've been with the department for 9 years. Actually, today is my 9-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I've only been here for 2.
I remember.
Well, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
The 9 years you've been here, you've held a lot of different hats.
That I have.
And one of those hats involves a women's self-defense course.
Yes, it does. I love it.
How long has it been here, and why was it created?
The course itself is running about 20 years old. It actually started at Riverland Hills Baptist Church, and the pastor there decided he wanted to do something. He was a black belt, master black belt, and he wanted to do something for his parishioners, the people in his parish. And so he learned the craft and built something that is directly correlated with a woman's body and started teaching it. Well, Chief Yaturia was actually one of our first instructors of the course.
I didn't know that.
Yes. And so she started, at that time, she was working in the sexual assault victim services and said, this is something we could teach our sexual assault survivors. Well, in teaching it, they decided, why are we being reactive? Let's be proactive. And that's when we started taking it out to the public and teaching it before somebody had been assaulted and teaching them how to not be a victim.
It's been here for more than 20 years,
20
I understand.
years.
Over that 20-year time period, how many women do you think have gone through that course?
Oh my goodness, we have taught hundreds and hundreds of classes. Each class can range between 10 to 50 people in it. So let's go with probably 2,000 plus.
Wow, that's a lot.
That is.
That's actually impressive. Now, those 2,000 plus women have gone through that course. Mm-hmm. They've learned a thing or two.
That they have.
Now, that brings me up to a current situation that just occurred here in Richland County. A female was riding her bike, and a car came up behind her, hit her while she was on the bike. She fell to the ground. The driver of that vehicle jumped out of the vehicle, went over, and they began to scuffle.
Yes,
He began to attack her. He attempted to drive her back, but pull her back to the car. And she was using some kind of skills that she had learned, or just the reactionary skills, and she was lucky to survive, and she got away. With that being said, this course that RCSD instructs, that you instruct, and others, it could save people's lives.
Absolutely. We teach a lot of things because the whole course is based off of the body dynamics of a female and the element of surprise. So with that being said, fun fact is Sheriff Lott still has, to this day, no idea what we teach. He said, I am a man. I do not need to know what it is. I trust the instructors to teach what they, where this originated and how it started. So
this class, it is so valuable. Maybe people don't understand how valuable it is. It's something that you can use every single day. For example, a woman gets off work late, walking to a car in a parking lot, and maybe she's got a big purse, maybe she's got a backpack, maybe she's holding her keys in her hand and maybe looking at her phone. Is this something that, a situation where you and others could instruct her what not to do, what to do, and if something was to happen, how to react?
That's actually a very good example. That's actually one of the examples that we teach in the course, is how to have situational awareness. How to, when you're coming out of the stores, if you are uncomfortable, if you don't like the surroundings, go back in the store. Get somebody else to ask the store, and they'll have somebody walk out with you. Do not bury yourself in the phone. We see this all the time, kids walking around with their phones like this. We teach them, do not do that, because if in interviewing people that are in prison for these violent crimes, why did they choose who they chose? Their answer was they looked weak. So we're teaching these women also to how to handle themselves physically, but also how to not look weak.
What kind of age group are we talking about?
Because some of the sensitive subject that we work with, we typically range it from 16 with a parent and 18 and up. We've had elderly women in the class that have done the class. They loved it. We have repeats that come back, and they just to hone their skills on it. They like the thought of being able to keep those skills sharp that we have taught.
So it could be like a mother-daughter event could come out.
It can. I actually took my 2 bonus daughters to the class, and it turned out to help the oldest one when she went to college. And as soon as she got there, she had a situation where she said, "This isn't right," and she was able to go and to the RA and clear things up.
Well, this sounds like a class that is more of a common sense course that if somebody wanted to go to it, they should inquire. Now, if they wanted to, how much does it cost? How would they sign up?
The good part about that, the cost, we are public service. The cost is free. We do not charge for this course. This is something we feel that every woman in the community should know about. And to find out about it, you can go to rcsd.net, N-E-T, and look on there. And we actually, by the end of next week, we will have all of our dates for the rest of the year loaded up on there. We also work with County Councilwoman Gretchen Barron, and she has Safety Sundays, and we teach the course there on her Safety Sundays as well.
And how often did you say the courses occur?
We do ours through Richland every other month. Miss Gretchen has her set. She has different dates that she has. And then Cassie, Sergeant Radford, and I also go out to different churches. We go to colleges. I set quarterly with Midlands Tech to do a class there.
Now, out of the 2,000 plus that have gone through this course, what kind of feedback have you received from those previous students?
We do get a lot of phone calls. Some people saying, "Yeah, I was in this situation, and I had that sixth sense feeling that you talked about, and I went back in the store and got somebody to walk me out, or I didn't like who was parked next to my vehicle. It just looked off." And we teach them about, when the hairs on your neck stand up, you need to pay attention to it. And they'll go back in and get somebody to walk out with them, or realize that they've had their phone, they're buried in their phone, and we do get a lot of phone calls back saying, "Hey, I've had to use this." Now, one thing I will say is we're partnered with Pathways to Healing, and for anybody that's been sexually assaulted, and then Sister Care for any survivors of domestic violence. And they work well with them to give them the counseling afterwards. So while we're teaching them to be proactive and pay attention and don't look weak, don't look like a victim, if it does happen, then we have the resources to help them afterwards. We also teach that if you do get into a situation, the number one thing is call 911. Get somebody on the phone. Go to the hospital. Do not say, "Oh, I'm not hurt." You need to go to the hospital. Then call Cassie or I, and then we will be at the hospital with them. And we are there with them from the get-go. Once we get to the hospital, we are there with them.
Now, how would somebody reach out to Pathways to Healing and Sister Care for more information from their resources?
My suggestion would be to contact Sergeant Cassie Radford, and I think we're going to put her number on the screen, and she would be able to give them all the information. She is a wealth of information when it comes to Pathways. She's worked with them for a long time, as well as Sister Care.
Well, first of all, most importantly, I want to thank you for coming on this show.
Thank you.
This as sensitive as it is, Richland County just experienced something where a woman was attacked, like we previously mentioned, and this type of training and this course that RCSD offers could possibly save a woman's life.
Absolutely.
If that ever happens to her.
It could. And we teach everything from a sexual assault, different ways of sexual assault, how to get out of that. And yes, it could definitely. And no means no.
Yes, ma'am.
Even if you said yes in the beginning and you get halfway into it and you're like, nope, no means no. It stops there.
Yes, ma'am. Again, thank you for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
Thank you at home for watching. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook at Richland County Sheriff's Department, here on YouTube at Richland County Sheriff's DEPT. Again, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again next time.